Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Today we come to you live from the Muntinlupa Sports Complex, where we give you your Friday triple header beginning with Tonton Peralta and the rest of Pasig City. Peralta scored 17 points in the previous outing, most coming in the second half versus Valenzuela. And he's going to be matched up against Achi Inigo, Damian Lasco, and the Caloocan Excellence, who are highly motivated to still get into the playoff picture in the North Division. Pasig City versus Caloocan at 5 p.m. Jensen versus Marikina at 7 p.m. And then the Muntinlupa Cagers will look to snap their losing streak against also a struggling team in the Mindoro Tabs. Again, we joining us, we are glad to have you with us. Nick Gomez at your service alongside Garen Elorde. Now Garen, Pasig City, itong team na to, in the past couple of games, laging malalapit yung kanilang mga final scores. But you know, if you're a team na nasanay na sa close games and then you get to win by a margin of 13 points, how does that affect your confidence?
Well, it's a big jump for your confidence as a team. Well, getting a win, no matter how big the score is or how close, a win is a win for them. And for now, we can surely see we're going to see something different. They're going to try to push that tempo even more against Caloocan today.
They're going to want to prove their dominance against one of the latter teams in the North Division. But right now, let's say hi to our courtside reporter, si Sydney Crespo. Sydney, magandang hapon sa iyo.
Hi Migs and Garen, magandang hapon sa inyo at magandang hapon sa lahat ng nanonood ngayon sa MPBL. I have great stories for you guys. One team who is fighting to keep their momentum and the other one who's trying to be back at the winning column. So abangan nyo mga kwento ko mamaya.
Alright, thank you so much Sydney. Very interesting ang ating mga ganap ngayon sa ating season dahil patapos na po ang ating very long 2022 season, and because of that, we have to discuss our tournament format. Of course, sa ating paparating na playoffs, Garen, ano mangyayari?
Here we see that teams will follow a single round robin format and play 21 games each. The top 8 teams in each division will qualify for the playoffs. Top 4 teams per division will have home court advantage. At saka naman sa first 3 playoff rounds, our best of 3 series, and the finals is a best of 5 series.
Pinaka-importante po dyan ang ating bullet number 3. May home court advantage ang ating top 4 teams. It will actually be a pairing, 1 versus 8 and then 4 versus 5 in the first pair, and then 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6 in the next pair. Game number 1, it belongs to the home court of seeds 1 and 2. Game number 2 belonging to seeds 3 and 4. And then for game number 3, babalik po sa ating seeds 1 and 2. Now, let's take a look at our North Division team standings.
Here for the first game, it's a matchup between 2 North Division teams. We see Pasig at number 3 and Caloocan down in the standings at number 10.
Still very possible for them to make the playoffs.
That's right. So a win here would be big for Caloocan. Well, also for Pasig. Sabi nga natin, may pag-asa pa lahat ng mga teams, and it's up to the standings and the wins na kailangan nila for their placing dito sa North Division standings.
Pasig City, they're gonna want to have home court advantage in the second round of the playoffs as they try to get the number 2 seed over Pampanga. Now this team, in their previous matchup against Valenzuela, they won by 13 points. They dominated the second half, scoring 50 and only allowing 27.
That's right. Here in the statistics, we see na hindi masyadong maganda ang field goal percentage ng bawat team. Pero makikita natin yung points in the paint, ang layo ng 32 to 18 kay Pasig City.
Well, actually, the best player of that game, si Tonton Peralta, is a known gunner. But he did score a lot of points on the paint. Very uncharacteristic, but Pasig City will definitely take it. And there's Tonton Peralta on your screen. That guy averaging close to 9 points in this season. How important is he for a Pasig team that, as we know, they do have a good amount of talent pero wala talaga silang big name stars?
That's right. In the last game also, eto nga si Tonton Peralta next step up when he had to. At kita naman natin, he scored 17 points at nakatatlong 3 points pa sa game na yon.
He even added 5 steals, doing it on both ends of the floor. He's gonna want to do that today against the Caloocan Excellence. We mentioned Damian Lasco, kasama pa rin siya sa Caloocan. He is the 10th best scorer in the league, but he was not able to perform very well against Bacolod. They lost by 11 points, and they also gave up 30 big points, the career high, to Alvin Alday. And Caloocan, of course, would want to get back to the winning column after suffering that loss, making it a 2-game losing streak for their squad.
That's right. Here, medyo close yung game na to ng Caloocan against Bacolod. And what was surprising here, or what impressed me the most, was the bench points by Caloocan, which had 47 points compared to that 13 of Bacolod.
Well, Caloocan did have good production mula sa kanilang mga big men na sina Real Cervantes and Edwin Asoro, accounting for 22 of those 47 bench points. That's a very promising pair at the big man position 4 and 5 for them. But this guy, I wouldn't say he's promising anymore because he has established himself here in the MPBL. Achi Inigo having 12, 7, and 3 as his numbers in the previous matchup.
Well, like what you said, Achi Inigo is very reliable in terms of making points and assisting. And dito nga sa game na to, he doubled that average by scoring 12 big points and 7 big rebounds.
Achi Inigo is number 10 in the league in terms of assists per ball game, 5.2. Gonna be interesting how we can match up against guards of Pasig, sina Nobin Lucero, even Robbie Manalang in today's ball game. Now we turn you over to our Coliseum announcer for our starters.
A very pleasant afternoon. It's good to see you again here at Muntinlupa Sports Center. Welcome to the first game of our triple header Friday. This is the OKBet Manny Pacquiao's MPBL fourth season presented by Extreme. Pasig City versus Caloocan Excellence Victory Liner. Make way for the starting lineups first for Pasig City. For number 17, Lester Tamayo. Center number 18, Jason Ballesteros. Starting at guard number 22, Robbie Manalang. And forward number 29, Carlo Lastimosa. Starting at guard number 71, Nobi Lucero. Pasig City is led by Ogie Gumatay, assistant coaches, Speedy Michael Gonzalez, Richard Rosales, Idol Intalan, and Arwil Talag. Team owner is Buddy Encarnado. Now the starting five for Caloocan Excellence Victory Liner. Starting at guard number 5, Jeric Garcia. And forward number 8, Jackie Laude. Also at forward number 29, J.R. Raplores. Playing center number 71, John Lee Valin. One guard number 81, Mark Manalang. Caloocan Excellence Victory Liner. Head coaches Ronnie Dohilio. Assistant coaches Cesar Babasa, Carl Lanusa, Hector Serrano, and Peter Santamaria. Referees for this ball game are Ramon Santiago Jr., Pepe Boy Galiga. And
there is a shuffle again on the starters of Caloocan. They have Peter Manalang, Jerry Garcia, Johnny Valin, Jera Flores, and Jackie Laude. On the other end for Pasig City, we're seeing a three-guard lineup. Joining Nestor Damayan and Jason Ballesteros are Nobin Lucero, Robbie Manalang, and Carlo Lastimosa. Now, what does that say about your team if you are starting with 3 guards on your starting lineup?
Well, for me, I think the coach wants to run this game. They want to see how well Caloocan will be able to defend the run and gun play of this Pasig team. So we'll see if that's what's going to happen.
Nobin Lucero is a known pesky defender. There he is trying to give some pressure defense against Peter Manalang. But Peter is able to score on the follow-away. Peter Manalang, he is the older brother of Paul Manalang, who is still playing for UST, and Philip Manalang, who is currently playing for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Peter actually came from the Bicol Volcanoes in the previous season, as Carlo Lastimosa scores off of the spin.
As you see, Carlo Lastimosa, napakaganda ng move na yun. Very composed, and he went strong for that spin move.
Lastimosa had 11 points in their previous outing. Couple of games in after that hamstring injury. Oh, Jeric Garcia. Everyone's still perfect here in Muntinlupa.
Medyo mainit ang start natin sa first game na to. So mukhang magiging exciting na naman ang laro na to.
Pasig with the basketball. Turnover, 2-4 is the score. Jackie Laude now looking up. Still has it. Now he needs a teammate. Kicks it out to Manalang. Being defended by Lucero. Shot clock reading 10 seconds. Jeric Garcia now. Down to 5 seconds. Flores has to fire. 1-2, and he's blocked by Ballesteros.
Not on my watch, sabi ni Ballesteros.
Ooh, on the other end of the floor, Nobin Lucero. The move was so great that Garen Lorde had to react to it.
Yeah, grabe. Ang bilis ng pace talaga nitong ni Lucero. As you see, defense running the floor all the way to the offense.
5-4 is the score. Caloocan up by 1. Jackie Laude against Lastimosa. Great strip right there. He is one of the best in the league in terms of steals per ball game, and now he hands it off to Lester Tamayo. You did mention that with the 3-guard lineup, you can expect the team to run. Certainly with Nobin Lucero being a part of that 3-guard lineup, they have pushed in the early minutes of this ball game. As you take a look at this replay, Carlo Lastimosa, he's a known scorer, but that time around, he dishes it off to Lester Tamayo.
And kita dyan, alam niyang lalapit yung defender sa kanya with that fake at nakakuha nga siya ng assist.
Lastimosa is number 8 in the league in scoring, 15.5 per ball game. But he did not need to score on that play. Now they get the possession, 6-5. Pasig looking to increase their winning streak to 5 games. Lastimosa, too strong. Rebound Garcia. J.R. Flores, that time around, outlasting Jason Ballesteros on the play.
That was a good hard drive over the big man and Ballesteros. Hindi na natakot.
And rightfully so, for us to kind of defend Jason Ballesteros because he is the #1 shot blocker in the league at 1.8 per ball game. Ballesteros inside, he is fouled.
I mean, it's always good to have a big man in Jason Ballesteros in your team. May shot blocker at all times.
And a great rebounding as well. Rebounder for Pasig City. Unfortunately, he's not able to reject that shot by J.R. Flores. Couple of games in as well, no? Para sa Caloocan itong Sira Flores with 8 points and 7 rebounds in their previous outing. This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Ballesteros is the tallest player in the MPBL. We do not even need to see the papers for us to believe that it's true.
Proven na yan. No one will doubt you, Migs.
At grabe talaga, yung disparity ng kanyang height against other players. Right now, he's matched up against a tall John Nibalin, who already looks towering against other big men here in the MPBL.
And he's not just tall, he's big, he's wide. Kaya yan nga naman ang gusto mo sa isang big man, who's long and strong.
Ballesteros used to be a part of the national team here in the Philippines. Parte ng Gilas 1 natin back in 2010. Kasama si na JV Casio. Lastimosa, no good. That's a foul inside against Lester Tamayo. A little bit too aggressive for Tamayo. But that is his role for Pasig City to try to get those rebounds each and every time. 8-7 is the score. Pasig up by 1. Caloocan, the other end, they are trying to snap their 2-game losing streak. Garcia, left wing. Different result this time. Here's Robbie Manalang. Manalang had 14 points in the previous outing. There's a foul here, Balin, as Ballesteros was trying to seal against him. How hard is that to try to deny such a big guy like Jason Ballesteros?
Well, we see a big difference nga in terms of size dito sa dalawang big man natin. And it's not easy. Talagang trabaho to throughout for the whole game for sure.
And speaking of trabaho, pakinggan na natin magtrabaho si Cindy Crespo. Sid, go ahead.
The worst thing that could happen for Pasig is to celebrate early, even before the game starts. Ito ang paalala sa kanila in the pregame to avoid being complacent and to still give some great intensity. The main reminder is that anything can still happen, especially at the last stretch of the conference. The last time I talked to Coach Oji, he says he wanted to secure at least top 4 or 5 spot, but now they're at 3. A good news, but it could still be better if they can still keep winning games. He appreciates the guys stepping up, especially after losing June Manso in the squad. At sabi nga niya, special mention kay Deo Lucero and Carlo Lastimosa. Paalala sa kanila is to be tough, but play the game with respect and take care of the ball like they did last time. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Sydney. Great for her to mention the presence of Nobin Lucero and Carlo Lastimosa. First of all, Carlo Lastimosa returned on the very first game day wherein they did not have June Manzo. So grabe rin yung timing doon ng pagbabalik ni Carlo, where he even scored a clutch shot to win that ball game for them. And then, the emergence came mula kay Novin Lucero, who obviously people could argue he was a nobody before a couple of games here in the MPBL, the last couple of games. But right now, he is surely a very vital piece of that rotation as Robbie Manalang misses inside and Ballesteros is fouled.
Well, what we said naman about Pasig, very loaded tong team na to, especially with their guards. And we have Lucero na nagbibigay talaga ng energy every game. Kaya naman, for me, energy and hard work, you can choose that over talent any time of the day.
They have to love the trust as well given upon him by their coaches. And now for them to implement the three-guard lineup, a new dynamic that we're seeing from Pasig City. Sydney also mentioned that they targeted the 4th and 5th spots. Right now, they're number 3. They're 1 game behind Pampanga. So that means that number 2 spot is still very much reachable for them. But they're also just 1 or 2 games away from losing that 3 spot from San Juan and Bataan.
That's right. So every game really counts. Like, hindi talaga pala complacent tong Pasig. And I don't think they are. That's why they're trying to start very strong off the bat. And gusto nga naman talaga nila manalo.
And remember, the Bataan Risers, they have a new head coach in Coach Ricky Dandan. They recently just beat Batangas yesterday as Carlo Lastimosa scores inside. Absolutely no signs of relaxation mula sa Pasig City as we bring you this epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. One of the best scorers in the MPBL, Carlo Lastimosa. Crossover to the right, hanging in the air. Maybe some magic in the air for you. Scoring for 2. As you do this time at 4 minutes and 16 remaining here in the first. Let's talk about the numbers for Pasig Caloocan.
Well, dito, points scored per team, it's hindi nakakalayo. Pero yung discrepancy para sa akin na crucial is the points allowed. Yung defense talaga ng Pasig, for me, it's better than Caloocan kasi Caloocan allows their opponents to score 81 points compared to the 72.7 ng Pasig City.
Right now, they've given up 13 for Pasig in the first 5.5 minutes. So that means if we do the mental math, they're on pace to score 96 points, around that margin. Not a good sign for Caloocan, but they do have some new players on the court. Rafi Octubre, who misses that shot alongside Real Cervantes, James Martinez, Damian Lasco, and Achi Inigo. Full 5 for them coming off the bench. The other end, it's still Carlo Lastimosa, Jason Ballesteros, Novin Lucero, Lester Tamayo, and Robbie Manalang. Shot clock reads 10. Lumalabas, Carlo Lastimosa for 3. That's good.
Start pa lang, pag-cross ng half court, kita mo, Carlo Lastimosa was calling out the play. He was very patient with it at na-execute nga nila yung 3-point play na yun.
7 points in this ball game so far for Lastimosa after scoring 11 in their previous outing. And slowly but surely, he's looking like who he was before in the past couple of seasons of the league as Rafi Octubre scores from outside.
Well, what's good with Caloocan also is that they're trying to execute their own play against Pasig at tinitingnan rin nila what they can do right and what they can adjust throughout the game.
You know, Garen, if you look at this lineup of Caloocan, on paper, they're also deep. They have a good amount of talents as Novin Lucero has something to say about that.
Well, yeah, like what you said, on paper, they're really good. They have James Martinez, Achi Inigo, mga veteran na to sa basketball, and they can surely win the game if they want to.
Now, it's a matter of gelling as well for their squad because most, or actually some of these players are mid-season additions. Here's James Martinez. Caloocan down by 9 early in this game. Almost stripped. Balik sila kay James. Rocking that short hairdo. Misses on the jump shot. Rebound, Carlo Lastimosa. He's going to take his sweet time to bring down that basketball. Alvin Baichong and Ryan Costello are set to check in for the first time. Here's Lastimosa. Up top against Lasco. Step back. That's a shot. There you go.
That was a tough shot by Carlo Lastimosa, but kita mo naman sa kanya, very composed talaga. He knew what he wanted to do, and that's what he did against Caloocan.
9 early points in this game. Carlo Lastimosa. It looks like he watched that game of Orlan Mamar in the previous outing of San Juan where he scored 36. As Lastimosa is also on pace to score that amount in this game. Martinez now scoring inside.
What I like about James Martinez here is he's not relying solely outside. He's also trying to drive and challenge the defense of Pasig.
Martinez is a known three-point shooter, able to escape the defense of Nobin Lucero and then sumabit pa at the last second si Nobin. But take a look at that step back. Such a beauty.
Parang nasa target practice lang kung si Carlo Lastimosa.
He likes that, going left, stepping back for two. Tonton Peralta and Alvin Baichong checking in. Now you're seeing the depth of Pasig City. Ngayon pa lang nila tatawagin si Jason Melano, who is actually their most used player in terms of minutes per ball game at 29.4. Peralta for three. He puts it in.
Mainit pa rin to. And itong si Tonton Peralta, he still has that momentum from the last game, I guess.
Right? 17 points, 3 threes in their previous outing. Peralta on the breakaway. Oh, that's basket and one. Paganda pa. How about this? They've given a 26 points so far.
That's right. That's what we said start nga ng game. But here first we see that strong move by Tonton Peralta over Achi Inigo. But yeah, the problem here for Caloocan is they're giving up too much points for Pasig right now.
Tonton Peralta looking very comfortable, very confident, as you mentioned, coming from that last game where he scored 17 points, the #1 scorer for Pasig in the previous outing. Robbie Manalang returning here for Carlo Lastimosa. Jason Milano is also inside alongside Ryan Costello. And it's important for us to mention those two players because they were feeling under the weather in their previous outing versus Val City. Milano did not even play the whole of the second half. They were still able to win. Lasco, one-hander, too strong. Rebound Costello. 27-12. Robbie. Pass was too long for him. Milano inside. They tried to go to the high-low, but Baichong was not able to handle it. Caloocan will have the ball. 42 seconds here remaining in the first. Again, the Caloocan Excellence, number 10 in the North Division. Still looking to qualify in the playoffs. Good feed from Lasco onto Martinez.
Yeah, that was a good find by Lasco to James Martinez.
5 points para kay James. Now they implement the 2-3 zone.
Now they're trying to adjust their defense and trying to see what they can do nga against this Pasig team. Nakita nila the man-to-man defense wasn't working well for them. So let's see kung mata-challenge nila ang shooters ng Pasig.
Now, Pasig, they actually have their two best shooters on the floor in Robbie Manalang and Tonton Peralta. Manalang getting the foul against Rafi Octubre. 9.4 seconds to go. Baseline inbound. Or make that free throws. Penalty na ba? Yes, penalty na po ang Caloocan Excellence. Manalang misses the first. Robbie Manalang averaging 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4.5 assists per ball game. One of the mainstays, one of the few mainstays, as we should say, of Pasig City. New look team for them in this season. Inigo, 5 seconds to go. Cervantes on the catch. Oh, sorry, miss inside. And that is going to conclude our first quarter action. 28 points scored by Pasig.
Well, that was just bad defense by Caloocan. Nakikita na yung weakness talaga nila for this game so far at least is the defense shown against Pasig.
Remember, halfway through they were on pace at the Pasig City to score 96 points. Now, they are on pace to score 112.
That's not a good sign for Caloocan, as you mentioned. Well, Pasig, as like from the start pa lang, they were starting really hot and talagang they were pushing the ball and they're controlling the pace all throughout the first quarter.
How about Carlo Lastimosa? Almost reaching double figures already. 9 points in the opening frame. couple of games in from that hamstring injury. Looking at like 100% here in Muntinlupa. 28-14 after 1. Let's talk about Robbie Manala. 11 points per game this season. He scored 14 against Valenzuela.
Well, in that last game, si Robbie Manalang naman talaga maaasahan na scorer at team player para sa Pasig. And that's what he showed last game against Val City.
So he is going to start the second quarter off the bench. But Pasig does have that luxury to rest him for a while because they have Costello, Lucero, Peralta, Melano, and Baichong on the floor. Remember, we also have to watch out for Jason Melano, who is the 5th best rebounder in the league and also number 5 in terms of field goal efficiency. First quarter field goal shooting natin, obviously better for Pasig City. And actually, Inigo able to score here in the early part of the second.
Well, slowly, Achi Inigo really has to lead this team again, kung kaya, in terms of scoring also, or at least finding the open guy para slowly but surely makahabol sila sa game na to.
Inigo was the leading scorer in their previous game with 12 points, averaging 6.3 points per game in this season. But he is known for his passing ability. Cervantes inside. That's a beautiful feed to Octubre.
That's what you like from Cervantes as a veteran player. Alam niya talaga kung nasan yung mga teammates niya. At kita naman doon, napasa niya for that beautiful assist.
That was assist number 5 for Caloocan kontra sa Siam ng Pasig City. They're looking better here in the second frame. What a pass by Inigo, locating James Martinez.
At yun na nga yung nakikita natin from Achi Inigo, finding his teammate and James Martinez for that cross-court pass and that 2 points.
Looking like a quarterback here in the MPBL and a touchdown layup for James Martinez. Achi Inigo, number 10 in the league in assists, 5.2 per ball game. Because of him, he sparks things up here in the second frame. Lead cut down to 7. Now this is very interesting for Pasig. They've had a lot of close games in their past couple of outings, but their schedule, Caloocan, Makati, and Laguna, those are very much winnable games for them before Nueva Ecija.
That's right. For this game today, yun nga, tsaka sa Makati, tsaka sa next one before Nueva Ecija, it's gonna be beneficial for them to get that momentum and their confidence back. Kaya naman dito, kita natin yung adjustments. They're trying to rotate the players very well. And it's going to be a good preparation for that Nueva Ecija game.
You know what? They actually have a beautiful chance to grab that number 2 seed in the north as Rafi Octubre scores off of another assist from Leo Cervantes because Pampanga will be going up against Nueva Ecija next Friday. So that is going to be very interesting because remember, Pasig is only 1 game away from that number 2 spot. Unfortunately, they're off to a slow start here in the second. A 9-0 run for Caloocan. Inigo is on fire, doing all that he can on the floor.
And Achi Inigo not only scoring, not only passing, but he's also rebounding the ball, trying to set the pace for Caloocan here.
Oh, marvelous effort mula kay Nobin Lucero. Able to bounce that ball off of Damien Lasco. Babalik naman si Carlo Lastimosa, who was the best player for Pasig in the first frame. There's that bounce pass by Achi. A domino Cervantes gives it off to Octubre for the second time in this game. 28-23, 9-0 run by Caloocan to start the second.
Just in time, kailangan na nga nila si Carlo Lastimosa.
See what he can do against this zone. Lastimosa for 3. That time it's short. Milano with the board. Turn around. Wala pa rin.
Well, Pasig is getting their shots, but unfortunately, hindi lang talaga sila makakonvert. But they're getting the open shots that they usually make.
The other end, those are the types of shots that Damian Lasco usually makes. First 2 points in the ball game, number 10 in the league in scoring, 15.2. But remember, at some point in the season, he was the leading scorer of the MPBL. Peralta for 3. That time he put in.
Well, finally, after 3 minutes in this second quarter, naka-convert na rin ang Pasig City against that zone defense of Caloocan.
That ends the 11-0 run by Caloocan in the first 3 minutes of the second. Inigo, he answers back.
Achi Inigo, very consistent right now. At yun nga, yun yung kailangan mo sa isang leader or isang captain sa team.
6 points on 2 threes para kay Achi Inigo. Lastimosa will fire, too strong. Rebound Cervantes, and they're only down by 3 points. Bounce pass. That's beautiful Caloocan basketball.
Well, ngayon medyo baliktad na nga ang pace ng game. Caloocan pushing the ball and Pasig medyo nagugulat. I'm waiting to see what adjustments they're gonna make here in the second quarter.
Now this 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Arrows up and the bullseye for Achi Inigo. Somewhere out there, Axel Inigo, his brother, is watching as well. Of course, Axel, get well soon to you, brother. We do miss Axel's celebrations, but as long as we're seeing his brother Achi do it, we'll take it here in the MPBL as we turn you over to Sydney Crespo.
As Caloocan tries to put a stop on their losing skid, it's maturity that is crucial at this point. And by that, the coaches reminded the team to stay focused on the game and stop complaining about some in-game situations. Now, these may be some common observations and reminders, but for Coach Ronnie, if they still want to have a chance in the playoffs, the little things really do matter. Now, with their on to the next mindset, and as you guys mentioned, this team has a deep bench. They hope to maximize the talents that they have. Maturity, leadership, experience, James Martinez and Achi Inigo both have that. So let's see if they can spark a fire on the Caloocan side of things. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sydney. That's a great point. Again, this is a deep team, the Caloocan Excellence. And not only are they deep, these are veterans. Great for Sydney to remind us about the credentials that these players have. James Martinez making a basket to remind us what he can do. But Jason Milano answers back on the other end.
Well, like what we said nga, two veteran players nga, and James Martinez and Achi Inigo, that can lead a team. And kita naman natin yung adjustments mid-season. So this could be a preparation also for the next season to come with James Martinez adding to the Caloocan team.
Even Edwin Asoros, a known veteran in Philippine basketball, he makes a 3-point shot. 3-point field goal shooting natin, 5 out of 11 for Pasig, 4 out of 9 for Caloocan. 36-33 our score, halfway through the second frame. Almost a turnover, double team. Milano in trouble. Kick out, Peralta. Now that guy is very dangerous. Already had 3 threes before that one, but he could not convert. The other end, Martinez for 2, and the lead is cut down to 1.
And now Caloocan has found their rhythm with the guards running and doing their fast breaks successfully.
James Martinez is off to 11 points now in the first half with the leadership of Achi Inigo and James Martinez. What a second quarter it has been for Caloocan. They already have 21 points in this quarter alone, 36-35. On the other end, it's gonna be a tough schedule for Caloocan.
Well, ito nga, opposite ang mangyayari para sa scheduling ng Pasig at Caloocan. And Caloocan will be tested 3 more times after this ball game.
Nueva Ecija, Bacoor, Sarangani. Now, of course, Nueva Ecija and Sarangani, look at the standings, they're already up there. But Bacoor, you know, their record does not do justice to the depth and the potential of that squad. Nakita naman natin, they've lost a couple of games in this season. Heartbreakers, as we could say, against the Titans. No? Mahirap yung schedule nila, bago yung mga manlalaro nila, and they gave us, they gave themselves a fighting chance to try to win those ball games. As we see the bench scoring 28-14 in favor of Caloocan. Again, they're off to a fiery start here in the second quarter. Martinez could not give them the lead. And here's Ryan Costello. Now, what does Pasig have to do to try to adjust here?
Well, right now, they need to move the ball better, even more. Kasi nga, just like that, on cue, Tonton Peralta hitting that three-point shot. But yes, Pasig has to move the ball better kasi naka-steady lang ang defense ng Caloocan with his zone defense. So, for that to be broken down, kailangan talaga mas mabilis yung ball movement.
15 points for Tonton Peralta. 2 points shy from his previous game output. So, the story for Pasig, in the first quarter, it was Carlo Lastimosa. Now in the second, it's Tonton Peralta.
And yun nga yung benefit na nakukuha nila sa lalim ng kanilang team.
Now it's 18 points for Tonton Peralta. He has been that lone bright spot, especially here in the second for Pasig City. How about him? Reaching 18 in the first 2 quarters of play.
That's right. Pag kailangan talaga ng may step up, Tonton Peralta is the guy to go to.
Take a look at it. Beautiful passing. You were just mentioning that they needed to execute better on the offensive end. And they find their shooter once more. The score is 42-35. Tonton Peralta, 5 3-point shots already in this game, 18 points. And of those 18, most of them have come here in the second frame.
And that's right, Tonton Peralta not forcing any shot as we see throughout the second quarter. Talagang libre siya and he knows that he can make the shots at kailangan ng team niya yun. And nagko-convert si Tonton Peralta.
He has scored 12 points in this frame so far. Again, thank you for joining us. Migs Gomez, Karen Elorde, and Sidney Crespo at your service. 42-35 our score. Pasig City able to recover here after a big run by Caloocan in the first 5 minutes of the second.
Ngayon, medyo nababaliktad na naman ang ball game with Pasig finding that bright spot in Tonton Peralta. So tingnan natin anong adjustments na naman ang magagawa ng Caloocan to finish the second quarter.
Robbie Manalang working with Jason Ballesteros, Lester Tamayo, Carlo Lastimosa, and Tonton Peralta. 4 of the 5 starters on the floor. Tamayo scoring inside.
And kita naman natin, Carlo Lastimosa calling out the play, finding that big man down below. At slowly at surely, lumalaki na naman ang kalamangan ng Pasig team.
Great for them to bounce back here in the second. They extend the lead to 9 points. They were up by 14 after 1 as Cervantes scores inside. (44-37). Nagpaparamdam pa rin ang Caloocan excellence. Turnover, Jackie Laude, good hands from him. Inigo, pass at the last second. You know that he's gonna pass it over to James Martinez.
Well, that's one big no-no for basketball, yung cross-court passes na ganun. Lalo naman, mahaba ang defense ng Caloocan, kaya naka-convert pa sila Achi Inigo for that 2-point.
Is this a 2-3 zone?
It is still a 2-3 zone. Nag-adjust lang sila, but as you can see, it's still a 2-3 zone played by Caloocan.
Lastimosa unable to score. 39-44. Martinez with a fake. Now on the drive, turn around, pass at the last second. Sorry, miss for Cervantes, and a foul on the loose ball. Achi Inigo telling James Martinez to shoot that basketball. Remember, Martinez is also in double figures in this game. Take a look at it. That pass from Achi. Very acrobatic, putting Martinez's scoring output now to 13 points.
That's what you like also with your guards. Talagang may tiwala sa kanyang teammates, and they're not selfish at all. Kung libre, better shots, he's gonna pass it.
44-39, Robbie Manalang. Then on the shot clock, Lucero, his turn to fire, and he puts it in.
That was a good find to Lucero. Ang daming oras, nakapag one dribble pa siya to get that momentum before shooting that three-point shot.
Can you imagine, Garen, if Lucero can also be a stable shooter for Pasig City, as now Peralta reaches 20 points in the first half.
Grabe, Tonton Peralta doing everything for Pasig right now in the second quarter. Yeah, as you mentioned, si Lucero, no, pag maging consistent pa nga sa kanyang shooting, medyo sobrang nakakatakot. Medyo unfair na yun.
Other analysts would say that there's no superstar in this Pasig City team. Wala talaga yung tipong nasa MVP levels. Pero they have great talents and a good number of them that contribute to this being one of the contenders in the MPBL. Oh, what a block by Ballesteros.
That's right, Migs. And it's a team effort pa rin talaga. Makikita mo with Pasig. They're not relying on one player only. Kita nila as long as they trust each other, nakakagawa talaga sila ng magic itong Pasig team.
See that block from Ballesteros. Manalang went flying, but his big guy was right there for the recovery.
That's a team effort that you want, di ba? Kita mo, tatlong nag-show para kay James Martinez, and that's how much they want to defend James Martinez.
And Martinez is still on the floor, got hit on the play. But there was no foul called. Ball is actually in possession of Pasig City as we resume. Martinez very upset. See where the contact is. Oh, there it is. It's by Nobin Lucero. Diretso sa ulo.
I think it was the momentum of the hand of Lucero, pero hindi man sadya siguro yun. He was just, ganyan lang talaga siya, pesky defender. That's what you get from him.
We actually saw that in the previous game as well against Val City. Lucero got into it with a couple of players mula sa Valenzuela. Mandatory sub tayo para kay James Martinez. Was there any bleeding on the play? Ang wala naman, pawis lang.
Pawis lang, oo.
It will still be Pasig basketball as no foul was called. And off of the block of Ballesteros, it went off of Martinez. Out of bounds. 48 seconds here before the end of 2. 49-39 is the score. Caloocan was able to trim this lead down to 1 midway through after starting the quarter down by 14. But Pasig with the recovery. 7 on the shot clock. Lucero. Oh, what a three! How about the confidence of that young man?
Medyo narinig yata yung challenge natin, Migs, about his shooting percentage, ha? Side 3 pa. Grabe yung side step na yun.
Lucero's up to 11 points in this game. You know, those types of threes, I would not be surprised if he learned that from his teammate na si Robbie Manalang.
Robbie Manalang is known for that. Yeah, that's right. Let's take a look at this again.
My goodness. You don't see that every day from a point guard who's just recently emerging here in the MPBL. And Sid, can you hear me? Sid, could you ask Nobin Lucero later on kung kumukuha siya ng tips kay Robbie Manalang in terms of three-point shooting? Okay, thank you so much. As this free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but that looked like the move, the signature move of Robbie Manalang, yung step back na yun.
Well, for sure, pwedeng napapractice yun, no? Sa training nila, they match up together. Maybe after training, they do some moves, some skill work together. So I wouldn't be surprised kung turo nga yun ni Robbie.
I wonder if they also play one-on-one after practice, as Lastimosa misses from 3. 3 seconds to go here. Cervantes will fire it. And that will wrap up our first 2 quarters of play. Manalang and the other Manalang. So it's Peter and Robbie getting at it. We're going to have to look at the replay for that one. But the score at the half is 52-39. Take a look at the 2 guards. Ito sila. Oh. There's an exchange. Could have been easily avoided, but what do you say about that?
Well, I think they're trying to change the momentum of the Pasig team. Minsan may mga gantong pangyayari rin. Siyempre mainit na yung laro. They want to get back on the game. They were actually getting back in this game. Pero naka-recover ang Pasig at hindi maiiwasan yung mga ganyan.
How about Tonton Peralta? Under 11 minutes of play, already scoring 20 points here in the game.
That's right, Tonton Peralta could actually break out this game again and become the player of this game if they do get this win. But mukhang may malaking pag-asa na Tonton Peralta will be that guy once again.
He's made 5 threes after making 3 in their previous outing, and they build a 13-point lead, 52-39. Now, let's go to Sydney Crespo.
Yes, Mix, kasama ko nga syempre ang ating player at the half, Tonton Peralta, with 20 points just after 2 quarters, 5 out of 5 from the 3-point line. Ton, where is that confidence coming from? Ano yung motivation mo ngayon sa larong ito?
Yun lang, kinukuha lang namin sa training. Siguro, binibigyan din kami ng yung mga coaches namin na pag-open, tira, yun. Tsaka, kumpiyansa lang sa sarili.
At yung kumpiyansa nga yan ang nagdadala ngayon sa Pasig. Pero mga kaliga, huwag muna kayong maalis because we have the top 10 plays of the week dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
He decides to post up because of that closeout by Victoria. But Ronjay still able to score on the turnaround. Yes, he does. And as we take a look at our epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet owns the win. Ronjay Buenate, look at his shoes. Those are Jordan 1s.
Yeah, it was a picture perfect with the shoes.
I can't believe it. Someone's wearing Jordan 1s who he was in 2019. Oh, what a spin. J-Mark Pagliari for 2.
What a tornado right there. J-Mark Pagliari leaving the defense in the dust and getting the 2 points.
We bring you this epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. Own the win. J-Mark Pagliari owning that highlight. Great to see him back from that fractured action. Taken away by Melano. Lucero crossover. That's a beautiful move from the point guard.
Look one way, the hesitation, and then the crossover to create separation. Boy, this kid is just super fast.
He goes to his twin. JC, oh, there's that chemistry all the way from birth.
Yeah, that connection. Alam mo, sabi ko kasi, yung connection na yan, since nung baby pa sila eh.
Bump classic chemistry. We bring you this epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. Own the win. They just make us speechless from time to time. The top division. Melencio gets it back. Baseline drive. Ian Melencio. No bounce. Oh, Melencio with a putback.
Again, Ian Melencio not giving up on that play.
It was against RJ Ramirez. Take a look at that putback. Ian Melencio. As mentioned by Coach Louie, hindi mo na siya makikita. Yung kamay niya na lang. And that's all that he needed to score the putback.
Yeah, he timed it perfectly. Di ba?
15-9. Mount City with the lead. Caballero, also one of the best passers in the league. Victoria. Oh, that's a tough layup. All the English in the world. He scored his first 2 points. Donis Victoria, we talked about his confidence. Wow. I mean, the spin on that basketball proving very effective for that basket.
Ang gumagawa nun dati, yung bumantay sa kanya eh.
Si Cyrus Baguio, right? 71. Caballero, oh, tough move. Basket and one.
Now, is meron pa bang kailangan ng end guard?
drive right there, challenging the defense of the much lengthier J-Mark Impayan, and he will go to the line for a bonus free throw. Again, the gut feel, di ba? Minsan, ito yung ito yung gut feel na isang Espinas kicks it out. Estrella, 2 on the shot clock. Oh, good move. Beautiful escape for Antonio Estrella.
Not the quickest player, definitely not athletic, but one of the smartest.
But that was such a beautiful move that even the fans of San Juan had to give it up to Andoy.
Barrio playing in his first season here in the MPBL.
Oh, what a move by Santa Maria. Ano ba yung tinatawag nila yung parang Pinoy step ba yan, Javi? Yung sinushow muna yung bola.
Yes, that is the
Yan ba yun?
step.
Yan ba yun?
Babak Santa Maria shows the ball, baits the defender, and finishes on the other side of the basket. Slow-mo.
Bataan with a chance to get the lead. Gabawan onto Belugan. 1-2 and the layup.
This is Bataan random basketball. Tight defense, forcing their opponent into tough spots.
Take a look at that move. Onto the reverse. Reggie Belugan being found by the big guy, Jamil Gabawan. We bring you this epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. Own the win.
Amazing skill and control shown there by
Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. I'm Sydney Crespo at kasama ko si Pasig team owner Sir Buddy Encarnado, and of course Caloocan's assistant coach, Coach Carl Lanuza. Sir Buddy, I was able to talk to Coach, and he said na he's happy at number 3 in the standings, but also of course you guys are still trying to win more games. Ano po ba ang masasabi nyo about the standings that you guys have now and the games that you've had recently?
Well, I told the boys it's not yet time for us to rejoice. The moment you rejoice at this point in time, complacency will come in. What is more important is for us to be able to win all the games to ensure that we will be able to get into the Magic 4, having the twice to beat advantage, and at the same time, we will be having our home court advantage. So, if we win, I keep telling them, let's celebrate tonight, but tomorrow is another day. It's not yet time for us to enjoy, because these are momentary success. Look at the standings. We are only up by one game away from the pursuing teams. So there is really no time yet to rejoice.
Thank you so much, Sir Buddy, for sharing that. Ngayon, baka meron po kayong mga gustong batiin o pasalamatan.
Well, again, I'd like to thank the people of Pasig for bearing with us. The court, the Pasig gym is now being renovated, and hopefully, if we come into the quarterfinals or probably even on, we should be able to make use of our Pasig gym. You will be able to cheer for your Pasig team.
Thank you so much, Sir Buddy, and good luck in the second half. Now, of course, I have Assistant Coach Carl Lanuza. Coach Carl, napag-usapan nga natin ngayon yung mga nakasulat sa Manila paper nyo prior to this game. You said may mga surprises, may mga hindi kayo in-expect. Your thoughts on the first half and what adjustments ang pwede natin i-expect?
We have to do a better job dun sa sa scorers nila. They made 50% dun sa 3 points so their shooters are making their shots. So kailangan ma-stop din namin yun. And then also taking care of the ball, yung execution namin, and also making those fouls early kagad. So kailangan ma-adjust namin yun dun sa second half.
Yan po nga abangan natin. Coach Carl, sino mga gusto nating batian?
We would like to thank kay Congressman Oka Malapitan, Mayor Along Malapitan, Victory Liner, Sports Garage, Boss Dennis, Boss Felix, si Boss Epay, my mom, yung UE Junior Warriors, si Yulea 14, Hoyas Basketball kay Nestor Mendones, siya kay JC Mendones, and Paola Soliman, Manhattan Plaza, Sun Life Financial kay Luan Roman, Swami Builders kay Ma'am Rian, kay Sir BJ, tsaka sa Toby's SM The Block kay Ma'am Rona.
Alright, thank you so much, Coach Carl, and good luck also for your team. Mga kaligaw, huwag kayong alis. More MPBL action after this break.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.
Halftime between Pasig City and Caloocan. 13-point lead right now for Pasig. Their biggest was 15 points. They were up by 14 after the first quarter. There was a push in the first half of the second by Caloocan. They trimmed the lead down to just 1 point. But Pasig City, with the red-hot shooting of Tonton Peralta and even Nobel Lucero, they're able to regain their big lead.
That's right. Kita natin sa first quarter, Pasig was controlling everything from the pace to their shooting. Pero na-stop nga with the adjustments of Caloocan nung second quarter. But then again, Pasig was able to recover slowly, led by Carlo Lastimosa, Lucero, and Tonton Peralta. Kaya naman bumalik ang kalalamangan sa kanilang koponan.
Nobel Lucero, we talked about him emerging in this second half of the season, especially with the loss of June Manzo. And he's contributed very well in this game, already in double figures, couple of rebounds and assists to his name. And we even talked about their three-guard lineup at the start of this game. Sina Robbie Manalang, Nobel Lucero, and Carlo Lastimosa. Lastimosa had 9 in the opening quarter. And then coming off the bench, you have a Tonton Peralta who didn't even play more than 11 minutes. He's already able to score 20 points. And there you see that step-back three from Nobel Lucero that might actually go down as one of the top plays in the MPBL.
Well, here kita nga naman natin ang discrepancy sa field goal percentage pati sa 3 points na nagawa ng Pasig against Caloocan. They had 9 already compared sa 4 ng Caloocan. At sa free throws naman, 71% ang Pasig compared to the 20% lang ng Caloocan. And then talking about the big man and Jason Ballesteros also and the efforts of the other big men by Pasig, here we have 3 blocks ng Pasig compared to none of Caloocan.
Those 3 blocks all from Jason Ballesteros, who averages 1.8 in the season. And remember, he is the #1 shot blocker in the league. So aangat pa yung kanyang mga numero. Tonton Peralta, Deo Lucero, Carlo Lastimosa, totaling for 40 of those 52 points of Pasig City. On the other end, James Martinez leading the way with 13 points. But we have to give a shout out to Achi Inigo, who was that spark plug entering the second frame, scored 6 points, grabbed 3 rebounds, and dished out 3 assists.
Yeah, like what we said earlier, so Achi Inigo, maaasahan talaga para sa Caloocan team. And James Martinez stepping up big time off the bench, scoring 13 big points. And actually controlling the game for Caloocan. At inaasahan tong dalawang guards na to try to cut down the league for the next 2 quarters.
As we begin the third frame, an interesting look here for Caloocan. They start with Redel Fabro. They also have Joseph Terzo and Joseph Peña Redondo. Those 3 players, they did not even see action in the first half. Kasama sila nina Rio Cervantes and Rafi Octubre. The other end, Robbie Manalang, Carlo Lastimosa, Jason Milano, Jason Ballesteros, and Tonton Peralta, which is usually the closing 5 for Pasig City.
Well, they don't want to be relaxed here in the second half. And nakita naman nila yung nangyari nung second quarter. Hindi naman sila nag-relax. Pero with the adjustments of Caloocan, now they're ready to actually push the lead even more.
You know, we even heard it at the halftime interview of Sydney to Sir Buddy Encarnado, the owner of Pasig City, that kung yung boss mo ba naman hindi talaga nagre-relax, paano pa kaya kayo? Diba? And you have to love that pressure coming from the whole squad because they are holding themselves to a high standard here in the MPBL. Remember, they're already talented enough to qualify in the playoffs, even grab home court advantage, but they're gonna have to be consistent enough and be good enough to go up against the Titans here in the MPBL.
That's right. And it's a good thing to see na everyone, kahit hindi lang yung players, yung coaches, yung owners, are all on the same page to actually want to win this game.
And Jason Milano scoring off of that jump shot. Remember, Milano was feeling sick in their previous outing, lost a lot of minutes, but they still got the win as Robbie Manalang will miss now. Great rebound by Peralta. Again, the confidence of that guy has been on a new level ever since he scored 17 points in the previous game. 6 on the shot clock. Lastimosa. Better give it to him. 2 seconds to go. It's too strong. Rebound, Peña Redondo. Biggest lead tied now for Pasig City at 15 points. And Joseph Peña Redondo scores +1.
That was a good, strong drive against the defense of Tonton Peralta.
Take a look at that aggressive drive. The first attempt in this ball game para kay Peña Redondo. And how about Caloocan? Really shuffling their guards here in this game. Again, the first appearance in the third, or in this whole game, no? Para kina Fabro, Terzo, and Peña Redondo. 54-41, 8 minutes and 28 in the third. Melano. They go to Las Limosa and on to Ballesteros. Kick out, Jason. 5 on the shot clock. Melano. Off to the right, rebound Terzo. Here's Cervantes. Really, Cervantes had a decent first half. 2 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But he struggled from the field. 1 out of 8, only 12.5%. There's a foul here. Good aggressiveness mula kay Peña Redondo.
And that's what you want also to start the second half. Go strong to the basket, not settle for hard shots outside. Challenge the defense of Pasig at go to the line. Yun na nga yung nagagawa niya successfully right now.
Before the new additions came in for Caloocan in the mid-season, this guy, Joseph Peña Redondo, was seeing consistent minutes for their squad. Right now, test for him to try to gel with all these new talents and make the most out of his minutes. Unfortunately, he missed those 2 free throws.
And kaya naman kita rin natin yung aggressiveness niya. No? He's trying to get that spot back in the team. So talagang maaasahan na lalo pang gagrabe ang kanyang energy throughout the game.
But this guy is definitely not losing a spot on the team. Si Tonton Peralta now up to 22 points.
What you like also about Tonton Peralta is he's not doing anything fancy. Ginagawa lang niya yung tama. He goes to the right spot. He knows what to do. Nakikinig lang siya sa coach niya, and that's what he does perfectly.
And they're looking for him. Peralta for 3. Tonton's up to 25 points in this game.
Grabe na yung momentum at confidence na nakukuha nito ni Tonton Peralta, as he should. And he's delivering very well for Pasig.
How about that jump shot of his as Caloocan misses inside? Tonton Peralta usually has a set shot from the 3-point area. But in this game, ilang beses natin nakita yung jump shot na yun. And it has worked for him. Melano. Against Octubre. Height disadvantage. Kick out. Robbie Manalang. Too strong. Now they can afford Robbie Manalang struggling a little bit if they have a Ron Peralta making all sorts of shots on the floor. On the other end, Joseph Terzo with an easy layup.
That was a good move by Joseph Terzo. Misdirection move, opening himself for that layup.
Remember, Joseph Terzo came from the Davao Occidental Tigers, the champions of the 3rd season. Carlo Lastimosa, turnaround shot. He's up to 11 points after scoring his first 9 in the first quarter. Pasok dito si Jackie Laude. Lead is 18. Pasig City not stepping on the brakes here in the 3rd frame.
Alam nga nila, like what we said in the second quarter, medyo nag-slow down sila a bit offensively. Kaya naman nakahabol agad ang Caloocan, and they don't want that to happen anymore.
Here's Joseph Terzo. Screen mula kay Cervantes. Pass inside. Octubre. Short. One more try. That's good.
And that's what you want to see from your players or your big man. Susundan mo yung tira. Don't give up on that shot, and that's what he got.
61-45. Jason Melano bringing down that basketball. He's looking healthy in this game as he grabs that foul. Have you ever played sick in your life?
I mean, I have before when I was younger.
How young?
High school siguro.
High
yun.
school?
So it's different when marami pang adrenaline, you're
Yes.
young. But it's different when you're a bit older, I guess.
Right. This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Oh yes, of course, in high school, ganado ka, gusto mo talaga maglaro.
Oh.
At syempre yung tolerance ng katawan mo,
That's
iba
right.
pa.
Sinasabi na magpawis ka lang, okay ka na. But it's different now for other people.
Ang daling sabihin yung pagpag mo lang yan.
Oh,
You know, we would even play with sprained ankles
yeah,
before.
for sure, that's for sure. Ball is life, kumbaga.
Tama. Oh, Real Cervantes. Good aggressive move off with a good feed as well. Wala kay Joseph Terzo. Is Caloocan underperforming, or is it just a matter of Pasig City performing very well?
I think Pasig is just converting their plays well, like even more than Caloocan. Kasi Caloocan is actually doing a pretty good job. But on defense, on the other hand, medyo hindi ganun ka-impressive ang pinapakita ng Caloocan.
At sobrang taas ng porsyento ng Pasig City. They even have 20 assists to their name. Pasig shot the ball 53% in the first half. And it seems to be that here in the third frame, patuloy pa rin ang kanilang magandang porsyento as Carlo Lastimosa misses. Octubre with a forward pass. Jaggy Laude, one man to beat. Sorry, miss. Second try is good.
Pasig has to be careful here kasi yun yung ginagawa nilang tama nung second quarter for the Caloocan team. Getting stops, getting the rebound, and pushing the ball.
Melano, in and out. There's a foul on the loose ball. That's against Martinez.
OKBet number 13, James Martinez is first. Ryan Costello, Robbie Manala, Archie Nico, Portugues and Benson. Novelo Cero coming in for Carlo Lastimosa.
Pasok dito, Achi Inigo, Novin Lucero, Ryan Costello, Alvin Baichong, and J.R. Flores. Balik tayo kay Sidney Crespo. Sid, go ahead.
4 weeks ago, Coach Oji just wanted to be an extension of Coach Bong's leadership. A humble goal but a genuine one. Now, after winning several games on his watch, he says it's the mind setting that helped them find their flow. He reminds them a lot of finding the balance of work and rest. Prior to this game, isang practice lang sila at nagpahinga. Over-fatigue is something he certainly does not want for his team. Now, Coach Oji's stoic demeanor might also be a factor to a much composed passing squad, so let's see if that helps them with a play of pressure approaching. Back to you guys.
You know, that's an interesting topic, especially at the latter part of the season. Yung pahinga ng iyong koponan, because it's a long season, 21 teams that you're gonna face in the preliminaries. And obviously, you're gonna want to have a team that's 100% healthy approaching the playoffs.
That's right. And like what you said, momentum rin naman. Like, it's good also to keep playing your players, pero at the same time, dapat i-make sure yung health nila at they get enough rest for the upcoming playoffs.
And even more for this Pasig City team because they've experienced injuries to their players. Even Jason Milano and Ryan Costello going down due to sickness. Remember, Jason Ballesteros, couple of games back-to-back games yun, natapilok siya. One game at the right ankle, the next game at the left ankle. And then Carlo Lastimosa just returned from a hamstring injury. So, if there's one team that truly values the health of their players, Pasig would be one of them. 68-51, Lucero at the line. Can we wonder where he or how he develops his skills during their practices, who he can learn from with this Pasig City squad. Na-mention natin, he had this resemblance of a three-point shot kay Robbie Manalang, but this guy can also learn from guys like Carlo Lastimosa in his team.
Pwede. I mean, that move a while ago talaga, yung sidestep niyang three-point shot, it was very new to his arsenal, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of his teammates taught him that move.
Gulat ka, nagturo sa kanya niya si Alvin Baichong.
Yun pala, no?
2 points inside, Rafi Octubre making a basket, 10 points so far for Rafi in this game. Full court pressure here mula sa Caloocan. Was that a 2-2-1?
That was a 2-2-1 full court pressure by Caloocan, trying to change things up again with a new 5 in here in this third quarter.
They have Octubre, Laude, Inigo, Martinez on the catch, able to score 2 points, and they also have Flores on the floor. Caloocan, remember, this happened in the second frame when Inigo and Martinez came in. They began running and they were able to trim the lead down to 1.
That's right. And so, kailangan talaga mas maging maingat ang Pasig dito kasi they're running the ball, they're running and pushing the ball once again to go for that go-ahead basket itong Caloocan.
Unfortunately, their defense on the other end, giving up shots inside. Alvin Baichong scoring for 2. Inigo onto Flores. They go to Martinez, 10 on the shot clock. 2 minutes and 5 in the third. That's a charge.
A little too aggressive by Martinez in that move.
Take a look at the replay. Nahuli si James Martinez. There's that forearm. Grabbing onto Ryan Costello. 71-55. 2 minutes remaining in the third. Pasig City staying consistent in this game. Lucero will fire. Short. There's a charge here. Lester Tamayong matatawagan. Balik tayo sa Caloocan. Martinez, 2 screens up top. Layup. No bounce for him, and he will proceed to the line. Ryan Costello matatawagan. That has been a long time matchup here in the MPBL. Costello versus Martinez, 2 veterans in the league. Caloocan trying to trim this lead. First one is good. Remember, that's also a story in the first half for Caloocan. They struggled with their free throws.
That's right. And ito nga, tama naman na they're getting to the line right now. And itong guards nila tulad ni James Martinez, perfect from the line.
3 out of 3. They were 1 out of 5 by halftime. 71-57. Tamayo crosses the border. 2 options on the pass. Alvin Baichong. 2+1.
And that's what's scary for Caloocan. Once Pasig breaks that press, there's always going to be that open guy.
And good recognition from the big man, Lester Tamayo, locating his other big man, Baichong. Now that guy has a smooth jump shot no matter how big he looks.
That's right. Yung big men talaga ng Pasig, kita natin, they work on their free throws, their mid-range.
Oh! Jackie Laude, napakagat si Alvin Baichong.
Good patient move by Laude.
At buti na iwasan niya rin yung katawan ni Alvin Baichong.
Oh, at saka yung tuhod.
Lucero, one-hander. Too strong, tapped away in favor of Caloocan. We haven't seen much of Damian Lasco in this game. But then again, the dynamic of this team, it has been changing. Itong Caloocan, the past couple of matches for them, especially with the additions in their squad. That includes Jera Flores, who just missed that layup. Lucero on the run. Handoff. That's a push against Martinez.
Pushing foul on number 13, James Martinez. Penalty is third.
The third foul on James Martinez. Dobin Lucero will proceed to the line. First one is good para kay Nobel Lucero. 75-59. What can you say about this guy? How can you describe him as a talent?
As a talent, well, kita, for me, he's not, iba siya sa mga ibang players na skillful lang. Kita mo sa kanya yung energy that he brings to the game, the energy he feeds off from his teammates also, at nabibigay niya sa teammates niya. Kasi iba talaga yung pace niya eh. And it's always good to have a guard like him in every team kasi he plays defense and pwede rin siya maging reliable on offense.
It's unfortunate that he's actually a little bit taller compared to the smallest guards in this league because we do have that pool that includes guys like Keanu Caballero, si Cristorado, yung mga maliliit talaga na point guard pero sobrang galing sa ating liga. Can you imagine Lucero being a little bit smaller? Palitin mo pa ng ote pero ganun pa rin yung level ng tapang.
Pwede. I mean, if you look at him now, hindi siya ganun kakapal, pero he plays really big.
And because of his big game as well in today's ball game, it's a 17-point lead right now for Pasig City. Next game here in Muntinlupa, the Jensen Warriors will look to stay hot in this league. They are currently tied as the second hottest team in the MPBL with 7 straight wins alongside Pampanga. They're going to go up against Enzo Hoson and the Marikina Shoemasters, who on the other end, they have been an interesting story here in the second half of the season. No more Ives Sazon for them, as we can see him now in the PBA 3x3. But itong Marikina, Garen, they've implemented that 2-3 zone as Achi Inigo makes a 3-point shot +1. Remember that 2-3 zone of Marikina that allows them to stay in the ball game with even some of the best teams in the league. That's going to be interesting later on as you watch that matchup, Marikina versus Jensen. Pero sa ngayon, panoorin natin ang 3-point shot na yan. Courtesy of Achi Inigo. There you see that celebration. You know, I wonder because silang dalawa ni Axel, they're former FEU Tamaraws. And yet they're celebrating like Green Archers.
Well, I don't know about that. Hindi ko alam paano mag-celebrate ang mga Tamaraws.
Oh, Carlo Lastimosa with a big-time shot to end the third frame. That was tough.
That was a tough shot, definitely. Out of balance. Hindi na diretso yung kanyang katawan, but he was able to make that shot.
Take a look at it. Lastimosa going left. That's a three-pointer. Definitely, it's gonna count. Some people would even argue a foul. Lastimosa is not gonna get that foul. Of course, the referees, they know better than us. And that will end the third frame. Pasig looking good here, 79-62. Tonton Peralta is still the leading scorer. Nobin Lucero and Carlo Lastimosa adding fuel to the fire. We mentioned they have been playing very well. They're executing well on the offensive end. But then on the other end of the floor, Pasig just punishing them over and over.
Yes, little by little, we see over the 3 quarters na Caloocan is able to execute their plays. Pero on the other end, on the defensive side, hindi nila nasa-stop ang Pasig. Kaya naman lumalaki ang kalamangan to 17.
79-62 after 3. Babalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang piga ng bawat Pilipino. We thank you for joining us. Mix Gomez at your service alongside Karen Elorde and Binibining Sidney Crespo for today. First matchup in Muntinlupa for MPBL Friday between Pasig City and Caloocan. Karen, ang ating quarter scoring.
Well, here we see that Pasig has dominated all 3 quarters, winning all 3 quarters against Caloocan. But Caloocan naman, kita natin, they're trying to adjust all throughout the 3 quarters, but then their defense is what's actually killing them for this game.
They allow 81 points per game. They've already given up 79 in the first 3 quarters of play. Ryan Costello. Oh, tough jump shot. But now he's given a warning for a flop. That has been very common in this season. Asoro. No good. Sorry, Mr. Flores on the putback. It has been a good shooting display so far today, especially from Pasig City. They have Carlo Lastimosa, Alvin Baichong, Lester Tamayo, Robbie Manalang, and Ryan Costello on the floor. 4 on the shot clock. Costello's wide open, and he misses it. In and out.
Well, again, Caloocan is playing with a zone defense. Kaya naman napapalibre ang mga shooters ng Pasig.
The other end, Jackie Laude forces the issue. And he will go to the line. Papasok dito sina Rafi Octubre and Neil Cervantes. An interesting thing about Caloocan as well, they haven't fielded in Jomar Santos, but he is not in the lineup today. That's a big loss for their squad as this free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Jomar Santos, remember, undersized as a forward, but very lengthy, mahaba yung wingspan. At one point in the season, cracking the top 10 in terms of rebounding. Couple of best player of the games as well to his name. Jaggy Laude will make the free throw. Babalik si Jason Milano. 5 points para kay Jaggy Laude. 81-63. 8 minutes and 33 in the fourth quarter.
Ngayon, we can see patuloy pa rin ang full court press ng Caloocan. Let's see if they can stop the momentum of this Pasig team.
2-1 once more. Costello. Dangerous situation right there. Tough angle. One guy to beat. Martinez for 2. He's asking for the foul, not given to him. 21 points para kay James Martinez. Most of them coming from the fast break.
That's right. Yun nga yung naging bright spot para dito sa Caloocan when they do their fast breaks. Nakaka-execute sila successfully talaga.
2 points para kay James Martinez. Lead cut down to 16. 8 minutes and 17 remaining in the fourth and final frame. Let's talk about James Martinez. He spoke about him scoring a lot, especially in the fast break. Kanyang kapares sa game na ito, si Achi Inigo. He's a known three-point shooter. Pero kitang-kita mo naman, 9 field goals and then 3 free throws. That means all of his baskets came from 2.
That's right. And sinabi nga natin from the start of this game, very reliable to on the outside, but he's been showing us what he can do also inside and inside the paint. At talagang magandang combo guard to para kay Achi Inigo.
Now can he do enough? They're still down by 16. Miss mula kay Lastimosa. Unfortunately, Caloocan was not able to box out the smallest guy on the floor.
That's right. That's what you want from your guards. Kahit na gaano kaliit, they have to be in the right spot trying to rebound the ball.
You know, in terms of height, Costello actually belongs in that group with Keanu Caballero, Cristorado, and Topeng Lagrama. But he just looks wider, no?
That's right.
Malaki yung katawan.
Stocky siya. Oo.
I like that word, stocky.
Stocky.
Sabihin ko sana chubby. Pero stocky dapat.
Stocky ba ng
Muscle
compliment?
yan.
Yeah, tama.
Real Cervantes proceeding to the line. Uupo dito si James Martinez. Babalik si Damien Lasco, who hasn't seen much action in this game. Remember, that guy used to be very high usage for Caloocan. Umabot nga sa punto na nahihirapan na siya miscore in the fourth frame dahil sa over-fatigue. 83-65. Real Cervantes 4-4-3, but he has struggled from the line. Wala pa rin, 0 out of 4.
And that's been the story for this Caloocan team all throughout. Kita natin, they've been struggling sa free throw line. But hopefully, they can change that in their next games.
83-65, Pasig. Well on pace to get their 5th straight win in the MPBL and 11th overall kontra sa 5 talo. Lastimosa at the corner. In and out. But they're called for a 24-second shot clock violation as Lastimosa attempted that 3. Babalik dito si Tonton Peralta.
Now Tonton Peralta will finish this game with 7 minutes left. Tingnan natin kung anong ending para dito kay Tonton Peralta.
He's just trying to secure his Best Player of the Game award.
That could be the case.
Trying to go for back-to-back after scoring 17 in their previous outing. Damien Lasco obviously has a lot of energy to his legs, but he's unable to convert, and then a foul here against Alvin Baichong.
But yeah, putting Tonton Peralta back in the game also makes a statement for Pasig na they really want to end this game strong. Na they're not trying to give anything to Caloocan at they want to secure that win.
Baseline inbound here. Caloocan still down by 18.6 minutes and 43 in the fourth and final frame. They have Damian Lasco, Jaggy Laude, Real Cervantes, Rafi Octubre, and Achi Nigo on the floor. Again, on paper, if you just mention those 5 names, they sound like a very deep team in the MPBL.
Well, they are actually a deep team, but gelling has been the problem for them. But I'm sure they're going to be able to figure that out maybe till the end of the season, siguro.
They're going to have to quicken things up here because this is game number 15 for them. They only have 6 more outings before the end of the preliminaries. Remember, Caloocan is already number 10 in the North Division. They're behind Marikina. Half game behind Marikina and 2 games behind Manila, which is number 8 in the North. And we also have to remember that everyone in the North Division, they're avoiding that number 8 spot. Why? Because the number 1 team is Nueva Ecija.
The undefeated team in the MPBL. Siyempre, no one would really want to match against them in the playoffs.
And you know, a lot of people actually, Garen, would argue that besides that 1 versus 8 spot, anything can happen in the North Division in terms of matchups. Ano masasabi mo with Pampanga at number 2, Pasig at number 3, San Juan at 4, Bataan at 5, QC at 6, 7 ang Valenzuela?
Well, it's a very close game. Close standing dito nga sa North Division. Kita natin yung discrepancy. Parang 1 game lang yung lamang nung Pampanga. Ang dikit talaga. Ang hirap masabi. So every win will count talaga. Every game counts.
Last 4-5 games for our teams before we end the season. But by the way, we would like to remind everyone na marami pa rin kaganapan dahil lilipad pa rin tayo papuntang Zamboanga on Tuesday after Caloocan on Monday. And then another Nueva Ecija game next week and as well in the early days of October. And then the playoffs will begin by the end of October. The playoffs will stretch up until the 2nd week of December. So obviously, the MPBL will have a break from, syempre, mapapasko muna tayo. Pasko and then 2 months, January, February, before the return in the 2023 season on March. Ngayon, we give you the return of Sidney Crespo on air. Sid, go ahead.
Contrary to their game plan tonight to challenge all the shots of Pasig, the Caloocan Excellence top concern now is they've not been able to stop the shooters with their defensive executions in the 3rd quarter. Sabi nga from the huddle, they were reminded to be smart and patient on both ends of the court. Patience is actually one of the things highlighted for them tonight, even in the Manila paper sa loob ng kanilang dugout. Pero they need more of it if they want to win and if they want to snatch the win tonight. Your thoughts on patience, guys?
Well, of course, that's very important. Pero thank you na sinabi mo yung Manila paper doon, Sid, because that brings me to another question, if I may. Tatanungin ko lang si Garen. Sa iyong mga dugouts, whether as a player in Southridge or as a coach, or a player in Nasal as well and a coach in Southridge, as Rafi Octubre makes a 3, is there anything in particular na naging paborito mong isinulat sa inyong Manila paper, blackboards or whiteboards?
Well, ako, ang sinusulat ko lang naman at ang sinisigaw ng team is that we play together. Whatever happens, together ang team. We lose, we win together, we work together. So I always try to implement that sense of unity as a team. Yun nga, we look out for one another on and off the court, and yun naman yung talagang gusto mo in a team. That's why we're called a team, right? Kasi together tayo.
Pero never mo pa sinulat yung patience?
Hindi pa. Maybe next time.
Oo, yan na. Thank you, Sid, again. 86 to 70 our score. Under 5 minutes here in the 4th. They talked about needing to close out on the shooters of Pasig. Remember, they're gonna have to work extra hard because they're implementing a zone. Octubre. No good. Rebound Lastimosa. Pasig just needing to hold on with this lead. They're gonna return 3 players, Tobin Lucero, Ryan Costello, and Jason Ballesteros. Here's Lastimosa. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Huling-huli yun ng ating referee.
Medyo malapit na daw yung 3-point line, sabi ni Carl Lastimosa, kaya gusto medyo lumayo ng konti.
He actually made it. Sayang. But no problem for him as they're up by 16 points here. 4 minutes and 11 remaining before the end of this game. We bring you this epic move of the game in partnership with OKBet. Own the win. Carlo Lastimosa, he loves going left and spinning to the right.
Ito yung move niya kanina na I was so impressed with kasi very composed nga siya at makita yung skill set niya na other professionals can do lang.
15, 4-4 for Carlo Lastimosa as he gives a finger heart to everyone watching on our live stream. Again, we thank you for joining us, whether it may be on YouTube or Facebook. Mix Gomez po at your service alongside Garen Elorde and Sydney Crespo. 86-70 our score. 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Cervantes, that's a walk. Always tough when you have Jason Ballesteros in front of you.
That's right. Sinashadow ka eh. Parang how can you see that ring kung makikita mo lang yung kamay at ulo ni Jason Ballesteros?
Balik tayo sa Pasig City. Lucero onto Costello, bounce pass. Balik kay Ryan, they swing it to the left. Peralta thought about it. Up top. Costello. Almost snatched away, but it's out of bounds off of Ryan. $86, 70, 30, or 3 and 36 remaining. Here's Lasco. Working with Octubre, Cervantes, Inigo, and Laude. Inside, they try to go. Tapped outside in favor of Pasig City. Three minutes and 20 in the fourth frame. Ooh, Milano almost stepped out of bounds. Costello saving it. Good recognition from the point guard. Ballesteros, they swing it over. That's great ball execution by Pasig City.
Wow, Lucero with another 3-point shot added to his name.
And he's up to 19 points in this game. Nobin Lucero, that is 3-pointer number 4. For him in this game alone. And again, if he continues with this, just imagine how deadly Pasig can be.
Libre dun sa wing si Lucero at he did not hesitate at all. So I guess he was also given that license na pag libre ka, tira mo.
89-70 now. Damien Lasco making the first free throw. 3-point shooting has worked in this game para sa Pasig City. Tonton Peralta made it rain in the first half. They've made 12 so far out of 27, 44%. The other end, the free throw shooting naman for Caloocan, 6 out of 19, 31%. Which we all know is very low.
That's right. Grabe yung 3-point shooting ng Pasig. Hindi ko na alam kung umuulan dito sa labas eh. Pero dito sa loob for sure, papaulan nga sila.
Here we go again, but Peralta will miss. You saw the set shot. Yun naman yung normal na shot. Ito si Tonton Peralta. You think it's also another challenge? Kasi dalawa yung form ng tira mo. May isang set shot, may jump shot. Is that challenging as well?
Well, it's hard to do. Usually, mga players, isa lang yung tira nila. It's either a set shot or off the dribble. Pero siya, he's trying to adjust to be consistent in both shots, no? And yeah, it is challenging. Pero ngayon, mas naging successful nga siya dun sa off the dribble niya. Yung hindi set shot, ha?
The jump shot, actually.
The jump shot, yes, that's right.
89-74. 2 minutes and 20 remaining. See the patience of Pasig City against that zone.
Well, now they're actually trying to burn the clock also. Kita naman nila na they have a comfortable lead. And if they make turnovers, alam nilang this team will push the ball just like that.
Right on cue, Damien Lasco scores 2 points. 6 in total para kay Lasco, who averages 15.2 in this season. Another turnover. Lasco for 2. And Pasig will definitely call a timeout because of that play. 89-78, 1 minute and 53 here.
No lead is safe, kaya naman napatawag agad ng timeout to kill that momentum.
Damien Lasco coming alive in the 4th frame. They were able to preserve him, so he has a lot of energy to try to finish this one out. Back-to-back layups for him. Lead cut down to 11, 89-78. Damien Lasco, 10 points, 4 rebounds, most of those coming in the 4th quarter. So he still has a chance to try to surpass his scoring average of 15. But he only has 1 minute and 53 seconds to try to do that. And more importantly, an 11-point disadvantage for them against Pasig City.
Well, it's still pretty much possible for this Caloocan team to turn things around slowly. May time pa naman, pero Pasig has to be careful and not be complacent here.
Pressure defense from the backcourt. They're able to cross it at the last second. Robbie Manalang in Pasig City again slowing things down to try to burn the clock. Shot clock read 6 seconds. Oh, that's a steal. Good recognition by Terzo. Martinez recovering. Martinez for 2. Lead cut down to 9.
That's right. Ngayon, single-digit lead na lang itong Pasig.
Oh, that's a foul against Terzo. He's still not in penalty. Take a look at that steal and the attack by Jace Martinez. Good for him to recover quickly off of that gamble from Robbie Manalang. Balik tayo sa full court pressure ng Caloocan. Pasig able to break it down. 89-80. 14 on the shot clock. Peralta, Melano, Ballesteros looking like tic-tac-toe. Basket and 1.
Good patience there by Jason Ballesteros, making Riel Cervantes fly by.
The ball did not even touch the floor. Beautiful execution right there for Pasig City. And Ballesteros will proceed to the line for a bonus. That has to be a heartbreaker for Caloocan.
That's right. They were doing everything right till that moment. At nasira na naman yung kanilang momentum.
And then Ballesteros gets the offensive rebound. 9 on the shot clock. Ballesteros free inside. Alley-oop. And an easy 2. Robbie Manalang.
That was a good find by Robbie Manalang. Ang laki-laki, hindi mo talaga mamimintis yun.
Manalang had to apologize to him for locating him a little bit late, giving him a peace sign if you saw it on the replay. But he was asking for it to Jason Ballesteros all the way inside. That's back-to-back baskets for him, and the lead is back up to 13.
Right, all credit to him getting that rebound for the second chance points. At second chance point, at nabalik nga sa kanyang guard to set up a play.
93-80 our score. 58 seconds to go. Again, Caloocan. They're looking to snap their 2-game losing streak. 4 wins and 10 losses, number 10 in the North Division. Pasig City, 10 wins and 5 losses. 4 straight wins, number 3 in the North. 1 game behind the Pampanga Giant Lanterns. And again, that is very important because of home court advantage in the playoffs. Now, it's also interesting, Garen, because Pasig right now is on pace to have home court advantage. But this is a team that hasn't had a home court in the season so far. Kaya tignan natin if they will be able to secure a home court, which is going to be a big factor, especially in the playoffs.
That's right. It's definitely going to be a big factor kahit sino na magkakaroon ng home court advantage kasi iba talaga playing in your home court, getting that momentum, get that energy from your home crowd. It's going to be a big help and a big advantage for you.
And I'm sure MPBL fans remember back in 2019, their home court was that Pasig Capital Gym where Robbie Manalang was the crowd favorite. Grabe rin, mag-ingay ang mga tao doon as Tonton Peralta makes a 3-point shot. Jason Ballesteros knew it all along.
Jason Ballesteros walking back already. Kita niya, Tonton Peralta had that ball. And alam niyang papasok na yung corner shot ni Tonton Peralta.
James Martinez up and under. That's his longest made shot so far in this game. 25 points for him. 12 seconds to go. No more shot clock. They won't shoot it anymore. This will be the final score. 96-82. The 5th straight win for Pasig City. They move up to 11 wins and 5 losses. Half a game away from that number 2 spot in the North Division. The other end, Caloocan, will go down to 4 wins and 11 losses. They're well on pace to still finish as not the bottom team in the North Division. But obviously, their goal is to get into the playoffs. Mathematically speaking, there's still a good chance for them. But they do drop this game to Tonton Peralta and Pasig City. This player of the game is brought to you by OKBet, the official partner of the MPBL, with OKBet on the win. Tonton Peralta, 7 3-point shots.
Tonton Peralta, not surprising at all. Talagang mainit pa rin coming off from that best play of the game last game. At dito naman, he was very consistent all throughout, being that bright spot for Pasig. At naging consistent talaga siya for all throughout the game.
Peralta averaging 9 in the season. He scored 17 in the previous game. And today, 28 points. Kasama siya ngayon ni Sidney Crespo. Tonton Peralta ang ating OKBet player of the game. Sid, go ahead.
Yes, Mix, kasama ko ang ating best player of the game, Tonton Peralta, with 28 big points, 4 rebounds, 7 3 points made. Tonton, coach was telling you guys about yung mga mind setting, yung trying to prepare kahit sino yung makalaban mo. For you personally, anong mindset ba yung meron ka sa gabing ito kung bakit napaka-successful ng pinakita mo?
Ano lang, kumuha lang ako ng kumbiyansa sa yung ginagawa ko sa practice, dinadala ko lang dito sa game talaga.
Now, Ton, also 5-game winning streak, nasa magandang momentum ang Pasig. Ano rin ang masasabi mo sa naging performance ng buong team, your teammates, yung tulungan niyo sa loob ng court?
Ano lang, yung mga teammates ko gusto talaga naming manalo, andun yung will para manalo. Kasi kailangan namin to para sa playoffs.
At yan nga ang pinapakita nyo ngayong gabi. Now, Tonton, pwede ka nang bumati at magpasalamat.
First sa lahat, nagpapasalamat ako kay God sa binigay ng panalo, kay Boss Buddy, Carado, sa Durings, Paninap, Boss Ronnie, Ikasa, Boss Jeff Mainit. Tsaka binabati ko yung nanay ko sa Bukidnon, mama, papa, kapatid ko, tsaka yung girlfriend ko, si Elizabeth Namahan, sa parents siya sa El Salvador, pati si Boss Grian Kanyari sa Manila Kingpin, tsaka sa Aaron, kay Kuya Buning, kay Ate Katrina Biongkob, tsaka sa Uptown CDO Eagles Club.
And again, congratulations, Pasig and Tonton, our best player of the game. Brought to you by OKBet, the official partner of the MPBL. With OKBet, own the win. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sid. 7 3-pointers for Tonton Peralta after making 3 in their previous outing. And they get a big win over the Caloocan Excellence. Up next, the Jensen Warriors will look to stay hot, try to get their 8th straight win this season, going up against the Marikina Shoemasters. So dyan lamang kayo. On behalf of my partner, Gary Nelorde, courtside reporter Sidney Crespo, my name is Mix Gomez. We'll see you later. Magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.